Here we are and welcome Wednesdays with Wallis. Thank you for joining me. And what are we going to be talking about today? Well, first of all, let's have a look at what I've got on. Okay, silver today. I decided to go silver. So I've got my lovely, this is a fossil watch, and I've had it for years. Pardon me. So it's a bit of an antique, really, I suppose, in a way. It's vintage anyway. Never mind about antique, it's vintage. So I've got this on, and I've got this lovely, this gorgeous silver bracelet. Got my tie on today and my shirt, my more androgynous look, sort of. Got my Panama hat on, which I absolutely love. This gorgeous jacket on, some fabulous, sort of a bit in this bluey tinge, leather pants, and a fabulous pair of, blue on with a lovely grey leather shoe with, sort of ties on. All pretty fabulous. These glasses, I've got these glasses on today for a bit of a change. Now, I'm going to just relax into this, because what I'm going to be talking about today is this thing about where do I begin? And it's come up for me. So, by the way, I'm Wallis Patterson, and welcome to Wednesdays with Wallis, if I haven't said all that already. Where do I begin? This came up for me recently because I was thinking about this whole COVID thing, and I was having a chat with a friend of mine yesterday, and I think I was just venting, really. I needed someone to sort of go, a bit like the Harlequin yawn. But I really wanted to have somebody to chat with, because I think I've been feeling a bit confabulated, a bit sort of like, what the? Because I'm a dreamer, and I'm a goal setter, and I'm an entrepreneur. So I love planning and doing things and looking forward to things and coming up with ideas, and I'm full of it. Things are coming in and out, constantly, and love the whole thing. But having said that, I realized that a lot of that was around traveling and getting out and meeting people and doing things and being in a very expansive space. And the COVID thing, I realized, I didn't mind so much, because I have a very introverted side, believe it or not. When I say that to some people, they think I'm mad, and that's not possible, because they see me as being such an extrovert. But I do have this very introverted side to myself as well. So anyway, forget about that for the moment. I found myself in a position where I realised that a lot of the things that I was planning, like I wanted to go to either Paris Fashion Week or New York Fashion Week, hopefully to sit, in the front row somewhere and watch all these fabulous fashions and all this fabulous stuff take place, have that experience, because I've never done anything like that, and I think that would be just amazing and wonderful, even if I only ever did it once. I'd love to do that, but that required going to New York or going to Paris, and that was, COVID out of the question. I realised that all these things that I wanted to do required me, to get on an aeroplane and travel and do things and be involved in that, and couldn't do that. So I didn't realise how much that had affected me. And I started to think about, well, where am I going? What am I doing? Well, what am I replacing that with? Or not necessarily replacing it, but how creative am I being? And what else could I create? And that was, that was testing for me. I found that to be, like I was a pair of stretchy pants. I had to stretch into this concept of what now? What I'd be doing? And I was chatting to this friend of mine yesterday. Anyway, I've decided this because I didn't know where to begin. And I thought, well, where do I begin? Well, what do I do? And I remember years ago, I bought out a little book called, it was one of my first, things that I'd written, and I've since, done more. But I wrote a little book called When I Learned to Dance with Life. And I'd done this little book, and I got it all sorted, and I had it printed, and so I had these, mega amount of copies of this little book. And then I thought, well, what do I do now? Where do I go? I was living in the US at the time, and I thought to myself, well, what am I going to do with this book? So one day I thought to myself, well, why don't you send an amount of books out to people that have been your mentors? They might know it, but they have been my mentors in life. People like Abraham Hicks and Louise Hay, many, 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 many people. I won't get into, mentioning all the names, but a lot of people who had been my mentor, been people who had inspired me. I realised then we don't have to actually personally know all our mentors. We can have mentors that are there because by virtue of the work that they do and the things that they do, we're inspired by them. So they are our mentors, a bit like if they were there for us, teaching us and telling us personally. They do it through the things they write and the books that they put out, etc., etc. So they were my mentors. So I decided that I'd make a list of those mentors, and I would send a book to each and every one of those people with a nice little handwritten note thanking them for inspiring me and inspiring my life and inputting to my life. It was fantastic. I got lots of lovely people back, lots of people answering me, lots of people thanking me, nice little written back to me from people or from their personal assistants. So I heard back from many, many people, and that was very, very inspiring for me. So while all that was going on, and it was a place to begin. So it's like I've often said to people in the ensuing years, it's just a place to begin. It doesn't have to be everything. It doesn't have to be the whole of it, so to speak, if that makes sense. It doesn't have to be everything that you do or the only thing. And it just may simply be a bit like stepping off the footpath, just the first step. It's just the first step of the journey. You may get waylaid along the way, or you may smell the roses, or you may end up looking in a shop window at something else, so to speak, in metaphor for the journey. Other things come along, and they did. The little book has gone far and wide across the world. It's been fantastic. But the lesson, sweeties, is that it was a place to begin. It was just a place to begin. So that for me has been, I guess, being a teaching for me in my own life. So recently, when I got into this whole thinking around, well, who knows when we'll be getting on aeroplanes again, and who knows when we'll be going overseas, and who knows when we'll be going off to the places we want to go to, doing the things that we'd really like to do. Who knows when we'll be doing that, when it'll be safe enough to do it. So in the meantime, in between time, I thought, oh my God, I live in such an amazing country. I live in such a fabulous, fabulous place. And I live in Victoria in Australia, which is the state of the city that I live in, Melbourne. And Victoria is a beautiful place. Australia's surrounded by water, so no matter where you go, you'll fall off the edge. Eventually, even if you live in the sticks, walk far enough, you'll fall off the edge. so to speak. So we have these beautiful areas like the Great Ocean Road, and all these fabulous, amazing places, beautiful wineries, got it all. We've got it all at our doorstep. We've got it all within, a short distance. Fabulous places to go and stay, amazing places to eat. It's just, fabulous, fabulous places. So I thought, right, okay, get out, come on, get out. Get yourself in your little car. The weather's still beautiful this time of the year. Get into your convertible, put the roof down, get out and take some road trips on the road again and get some road trips going. I've got one of those stick things now to put my phone on. Techno bloody genius, really. And I'll get out and I'll go to the wineries and I'll go to nice places for lunch and I'll go and meet with people in, country towns and other areas, meet with small groups of people, have lunch with them, natter, chatter, take lots of pictures, take lots of things, get out among people, but mostly, show people how fabulous the country is, how fabulous the places are, how amazing it is in this country, even though we've been absolutely ravaged in New South Wales with fires and floods. And we've certainly had our share of it, COVID and the rest of it. But we're a nation of go-getters, so to speak. I've always thought that, and I believe that. And that's certainly who we are. We come from great stock, and we are a nation of go-getters, and we love to get up and go when we rally around what's the best thing for us, even if it means that they locked us down and had us in lockdown and all that sort of thing. And most of us adhered to that. There were some people, obviously, who didn't. That's a bit of a shame because it was for the good of all of us, and that has seen us through, and we've gotten through, I think, the worst of it. I think we're just putting on some more flights internally to up the ante here, and they're putting on some half-price fares, and Qantas are putting on some fabulous stuff. I love our national airline. I love Qantas. I love the whole story around it. I get quite emotional when I talk about our own airline. I must be a bit bloody patriotic, I think. I love Qantas. I love the fact that whenever I'm travelling, I fly Qantas, and I love it when I go to the airport and I see the flying kangaroo on the tail, and I love it even more when I'm ready to come home and I go out and amongst all the aircraft sitting out on the tarmacs in various places in the world, there's our big gorgeous plane sitting there with the flying kangaroo on the tail. And when I get inside, I know the blokes are great pilots and they do amazing things, and they're very, very special. Thank you, all of those Qantas pilots, because you do a fabulous, fabulous job. I love yous. And they take us home safely and put us back on our own soil. And I'm one of those silly people. I still call Australia home. I love Peter Allen and that whole thing about no matter where you go in the world and wandering around the world, doing all the things that you do, to get on a Qantas flight and come home is absolutely brilliant. Love it. Thank you, all the people at Qantas. So, where do you begin? Where do you begin? I want you to think about this. Where do you begin to do something you might really want to do? And for most people, I know this to be true in life. I know it to be true. It's true in life that the thing that stops us from doing things, from getting on the road, getting on the path, stepping off the footpath, stepping into something we'd really love to do. We get into our head, tell us all the stories, and it seems to me, first step is the big, it's almost like that's the giant step, and we take it and we find it wasn't so big at all. Where do you begin? Simple. Just whatever it is, don't make it too complex and too complicated. Don't feel like you've got to have all the answers. Don't feel like you've got to have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted and everything's got to be sorted out and you've got to have this grand plan of what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be doing it and when you're going to be doing it and in what time you're going to be. Don't get into all that. Just begin. Years ago, I heard this saying, what was it? The king said, take the step, go to the end, then just do it. Just whatever takes your fancy, and it might be something. What ideas can I give you? If it's a book or it's something like that, look, send it out to all the people that have inspired you and helped you. And you've got to come out of your shell a bit. Think about things like, oh, they'll think I'm a lunatic, or they won't even know who I am, or who cares? It doesn't matter, because it's not in the whole sorting out of all that. It's in this thing about the doing. Just begin, because it's the energies of that says to the universe, this is what I want. I want to be seen and heard. I want to be known. I started this whole social media area. My God, it's turned out to be, I never thought producing content would be such bloody hard work. But it is. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't think it was going to be such hard work, and it sure damn is hard work. And it's kept me on my toes, and it keeps me thinking, I can tell you. But the same is for me as for you. Just begin. Just start. Where could you start? Who's inspired you? Who could you get? Could you do a little video with someone? And, I learnt years ago from a lovely, lovely man in the United States, a lovely, lovely man. Patrick Snow is his name. He's fantastic. You can see him online. He teaches people how to write books and things. He's an amazing, amazing man. And he's just absolutely gorgeous. He came up with some amazing ideas on how to get your book out there and what to do, and be a little bit cheeky too. But one of the things that he does, always, 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 he never has his picture taken without his book in front of him, and Wallis is doing that today. So this is my book, Being Bold Not Old, a New Generation of Role Models. It's a tabletop book. It's absolutely beautiful. It's hardcover, and you get a copy of this free. And in fact, it cost me about $40 odd to post it, because it's a heavy sucker. When you join the soiree, I'm going to give you a little bit of information about that before I go, and I'd better get a wriggle on, because I never stop bloody talking and talk the leg off an iron pot. So there you go. Bold Not Old, Being Bold Not Old, a new generation of role models. And Patrick said, never have your photo taken. Every time you do something, have your copy of your book with you. And when somebody takes a photo of you, make sure you have your book in the photo. That's a great thing. So whatever you're doing, just begin. Will you do that for me? Shameless self-promotion before I go across to boldnotold.com.au and take a look at it. Right down the bottom of the front page, you can click on and get a free copy of our last edition of the magazine, which is just Empowering Boldness, which is fabulous. So there's a copy of it on there for you for free. You can get that. And you can see all about the soiree, joining the soiree. And the first couple, or actually the first 3 soirees for the next 3 months are going to be free. And the first one's coming up on the 18th of April. We're going to be doing a big promote on the soiree from here on in for the next few days. Pardon me until that comes up. So that's the soiree. Join that. But as I said, you can be on the soiree and part of it for the next 3 months, and certainly on this one on the 18th, which is Sunday the 18th at 6 p.m. You can be on that for nothing. Doesn't cost you a cent, except get on Zoom, and we'll be sending out all of the info and the links and all that sort of stuff for you on our social media platforms. That's my big thing to promote, but keep watching, because Bold Not Old, not the soiree, won't be on the road. Oh, well, who knows, it might be at some time, but certainly I'm going to be on the road doing Facebook Lives and, you know, doing some live things on my phone, computery, camera-y thing. So that's going to be absolutely fabulous. Who knows, I might be doing one of these from my laptop, which I will be taking with me. So if I'm off on a Wednesday, I'll be doing one of those for you from the road, and flashing around my laptop, which is lightweight, luckily. And go and take a look at the information on the soiree. Go and download your free copy of Empowering Boldness, which is fabulous. The next issue will be out in May, but the current issue is out. It's fabulous, it's amazing. And if you've got a story to tell, and if you've got something you want to say, and if you've got some really fantastic pictures, send them along to me, Wallis at boldnotold.com.au. So that's Wallis, Wallis, and we'll publish those in our magazine if they're suitable, as long as it's not about religion, politics, or any other nonsense things I don't want to be getting into and discussing, and I don't want that to be part of our platform and what we do. That's not what we're about, although I do like to see cultural change, and I'm doing that by inspiring people to be seen and heard and be fabulous. I want you to be fabulous. I want you to be spectacular. You already are spectacular. I hope you're not hiding your light under a bushel, because you need to be seen and heard. You need to be out there. You need to be amazing. And you need to let everybody around you know that you are amazing. Can you do that for me? Thank you for listening. Thank you for being present on Wednesdays with Wallis. And it's shaping up to be fabulous. We've done quite a few episodes now, so there's plenty of there for you to look at. And we're going to have the most amazing time in the future. So I'll see you soon. Mwah, darlings, goodbye from me, and have the most amazing time. Dress up.